Is nationalism fascism? No, I do not believe it is. He knows this? How? You're answering this with some confidence. Some. I have considered it for years. Fascism and nationalism are overlapping ideologies. One is the fairly new idea of a united nation state, whether by culture or folk type or anything else. The other is, he squints, fascism is really bad, and also a lot of people just use it as an aesthetic, so really bad? That seems a bit moralistic. I was often called a fascist, but when I read those books from Reeds, I never particularly identified with it. They seem to hate liberal ideas, while I was always quite fond of egalitarian pursuits. In my dictatorship, I took many cues from Asgal himself. Hells, Gars Rubren was my brother. He taught me wisdoms beyond my years. Then there's the fetishization of violence. It makes me think of an angry young man, left powerless, someone neglected by his village. Obviously he would lash out. Fascism seemed to me as nothing but a response to that powerlessness, especially one grown in the wake of the First Coast War. If anything, it taught me not to take it lightly, to make sure each new generation of men in Norwich were given exactly what they needed. Discipline, challenge, and a god who does not conflate strength with violence. A real role model. Was I given that? That's a lot of words to say you don't want to be called a fascist. Oh, I see, lower your head. Was I given that? His face contorts. Pure pain. No, Ran. You were not. What does the red eye mean? You mean that symbol we use? That was adopted from existing symbolism. Ah yes, that makes sense. I see. You would be one to figure that out. I never meant to build a religion, you see. But when we'd conquered a city full of ruins, with that red eye all over the place, I think it was Ag who came up with the idea. Call it Earth's Red Eye. Turns out it was an albino lion warlord who held the ruins some time before the trolls took over. A one-eyed albino, one red eye? The old man points at his own very much dark eyes and laughs. Worked out fine though, worked out fine enough. Allowed us to spend more time on public works rather than shrines. Are you really a god? He shrugs. I had the same power as all those big shots in the Divine Era. Make a god of me or not. It is a banner I've carried for the sake of unity. If that banner ever grows useless, burn it. Let something new rise from the ashes. Not a god. Just a very powerful man, clearly. A god, a spirit, a memory. Remnant. How do you grant us clerics magic from here? As you've been taught, I channel the divine through strings. Subconsciously, though. Or maybe more like instinct. I'm an old hand at this, but by now. Might be a reason why I won't be allowed to move on. That I'm still needed to keep the channeling going. Which makes me think of all the other dead gods out there, still connecting those thousands upon thousands of clerics into their sources beyond. That's crazy. Agreed. I am happy to fulfill my duty here, keeps me sane. But I wonder if the Mender feels the same, or if Lady Fair holds down the fort in some other tunnel. The implications here are quite intense. Dead gods just end up in some void, being used as a key to magic? Incredibly, he talks about it as if it would be no big deal. I wish I knew more. Once I'm forgotten, maybe I will get to see through this gate. To go wherever souls go once they pass. Deceased people who are resurrected do not remember anything in death. Maybe there is nothing beyond. One day you might gain that knowledge. For now, focus on the material. That will set you free. How is strength not violence? This is not me questioning that statement. This is me wanting to know his explanation for it. I wonder. True strength is, in my mind, your capacity for enacting violence measured against your ability to never have to. In a sense, this applies less to violence and more to any form of competency. A real man makes the best of himself, no matter what that looks like. He does it for himself and for the benefit of his tribe. Does that make sense? Your god just asked you a question. I don't know. I don't think I know anything anymore. That makes perfect sense. What if a man makes himself into a competent weapon? What if he performs evil as that weapon? I'll ask that. You asked for strength, not goodness. True strength is a tool. Real men come in all alignments. Take you, for example. You wield magic beyond compare. How long does it take the average wizard to memorize a new spell? Just copying it into a spell book. A wry smile on his face. Heh, kiss ass. It's working, you're blushing. Hours per new spell. And you do it in seconds. That's no trick, nor is it only talent. Perhaps you have a knack for the esoteric. I won't argue against that. But think about those sleepless nights, those years you prayed and studied and read. The divine never truly fit. No salad, perhaps. Oh, the divine never truly fit. No salad, perhaps, he smiles. This, what you are now. This is your calling. This is exactly where your people need you. But my father, a man of many idioms, once told me, you don't have to be anything but the best of you. The rest, the village takes care of that. Nod. He must have gotten that from a book. I think we did pray to him at some point. I pray to you. Yes, you do. I cannot always hear it clearly. It's a lot. But I hear you. That I promise. I think I need to ask something even more important. Move on. Yes? I know you do. I need to ask you about Lord Gorm. He takes a few steps forward. An imposing figure. Earth. He's just an old man. But despite that, you see, he's also strong as hells. Gorm. Okay, sorry, 1 second. I've got a coughing fit coming up. I'll be right back. Okay, let's continue. Sorry about that. A man of principle, of bright mind and whole heart. I loved him like a son. His face contorts into a deep frown. It broke my heart when I saw him descend in such a way. You saw his plan? Not at first, but it did not take long for me to figure it out. I cannot say where his mind was, but I know his heart was placed exactly where I had taught him. Selflessly, he would give himself to any cause. Unfortunately, he proved my teachings terribly wrong. His pain. Earth did not possess the ability to interact with Gorm in any way. Why couldn't you speak with him? He could not see nor hear me. I could not stop this channeled magic to my clerics and my paladins no matter what. I cannot even destroy myself. For whatever reason, my soul here is muffled. I could not communicate with him or anyone else on the material plane. He's telling the truth. His truth. Why would he lie? He's got nothing to lose here exactly. Okay, that's a charisma failure. He was going to kill 27 people. Yes, he was. It's important to remember one simple fact. Nothing he did was evil. Everything he did for an ideal of good. Just like I taught him. He turns around and gestures towards the stairs. You cannot see his tears. Look how it ended, his bones hitting the pavement so furiously. Tears of regret. I thought I knew everything at one point, as if I had somehow unlocked the truth of life itself. It was so simple. Your god turns back to you, his eyes tinged with red. Goodness alone will bring the world to evil. The words of an arcanist, I believe. He's quoting cracks, how conflicting. But Gorm spoke the truth. About what? He wipes a tear from his cheek. My legacy. Norwich is under siege. There is a conspiracy of free striders. The magistrates are bored. The Asgulls are undermined. The Golden Horde seeks to occupy the clanlands within a decade or two. The Mendes Cabal funnels riches to rebels in our lands. And my will, the plan I created to keep peace and to transition into a democratic government, was suppressed. It's all true? All of it. Your god gathers himself. This was all a calculated risk on my part. What do you mean? I knew this would happen, Ran. Or rather, I saw the odds in strings. It was high, he says with a clenched fist. Something like 4 in 5. The problem? The odds changed while I was dying. That does not happen very often, an esoteric event most likely. Suddenly I saw the new probable outcome. This web of conspiracy. The old man shakes his head and looks very, very tired. The magistrates hiding my succession acted as the initial spark. The rest is your history. What kind of esoteric event? I do not know. It might not matter. Perhaps it was a divine intervention. Perhaps some remnant spirit or prophecy. Something changed the odds of my choice. Sadly, I am not the one dealing with the consequences. Why didn't you push for democracy earlier? The odds were against me. Forcing democracy at any earlier point had a very low success rate. Most outcomes would simply end up in oligarchy. Freestriderism was growing in the East, and it would have sunk its claws into Norwich. The counterbalance to organized money is organized people. I was hoping to set you all on that path. The populace was not ready, despite my effort at decentralization and pushing for pseudo-democratic guilds. The best chance was for democracy after my death, as my final will. Until it wasn't. Did they actually target the Lord Patriarch? Yes. A Taurumian wizard was equipped with an arcanist spell scroll. Taurumian, a term for a non-divine inhabitant of Divinitorum. A very expensive endeavor. Poor Archisum, he did not deserve such a fate. So, go on? I could not see who or why. The magistrates keep whatever they plan under tight supervision. They all stuff lead into their walls. Their homes are impenetrable for me, or any other scryer. Gorm's perspective is, however, most likely correct. They targeted Archisum to maintain their hold on power, to avoid the transference demanded by my will. He had, just prior to the attack, been very adamant about enacting it properly. Would it have worked, Lord Gorm's spell? I do not know. I do not believe he knew either. How do you see the risks so clearly? I did not share that secret often during my days. Lord Gorm was one of few I confided in with my struggle. A struggle? The one placed upon all us gods, he says while making air quotes. I can see outcomes in strings. Not always, not clearly, sometimes like a play in the mind, sometimes an assured vision, but always there are odds. A choice, a chance, a risk. When I worked at my father's shop, I would work on a shoe and see exactly how 9 times out of 10 I would ruin the leather. As I grew better, my skills improving, the odds would change. Soon I'd pick up a boot and see 2 in 5, then 1 in 4, then 1 in 10. Sometimes I'd still fail, but seldom. Over time, that simply turned into ever greater visions, along with greater powers. You can see the future? Potential futures, along with the difficulty involved with reaching them. It is not divine providence, it's just probabilities. That's why you left your homeland. Yes. When I took my people to sea, we had a 50-50 chance of survival. When I saw Ascani, those odds went up. Every step of the way, I made decisions aimed at increasing those odds. For you. The, Earthfolk? Them. He nods towards Snell. And others. I realized with such power I could protect and serve more and more people. Yet at a certain point, he takes a moment, where it all went wrong. Where does my tribe begin? Who do I define as the other? I had to choose. Why must there be an other? My choice was the Earthfolk and the exiled dwarves, a united creed, bound by this great city we built. I focused on increasing the odds for that creed to assure the security of Norwich and its ideals, no matter what. No matter what, huh? No matter what. For almost a century, that absolutism has been the source of immense life and pain. Absolutism? No. Fascism. Fascism, you mean? Maybe, he says, exasperated. Maybe. Just like Gorm. That comparison pains me, but I cannot deny it. It pains you? Snell takes a step forward. At least you had a choice. The old man keeps his eye on the goblin and places his hand behind his hands. Not with anger or sadness. Earth wants to hear him out. You're responsible for the genocide of my people. Yes. Look at Snell, then look at Earth. Yes? Just yes. Your god says nothing for a few seconds, then he nods. Every horrible thing you have heard, I did. He looks around the void. He clenches his jaw and clicks his tongue a few times. Then he holds up a finger. I have one question. I have thought about it for a while now. My whole life, really. I need to ask it. I want to hear it. The goblin hesitates, then starts. Why didn't you just kill us all? The old man furrows his brow. No, really, why leave us in this half-life? Because what is this? He says and pulls at his jacket. This, he slams his fist into his chest. We're not human, we're not dwarves. We're not goblins. Take away your language, traditions, our stories. You put us into these holes, expecting us to form into something suitable. But what is that? What do you want? If you can see every outcome, or whatever, why the fuck did you pick this one? His words dripping with sarcasm and rage. Wait for Earth's reply. Earth allows the goblin to end his speech, listening to his panting echo across the eternal waters. Then, without lowering his head or averting his gaze, he says, I was going to. I told myself every goblin on those red hills needed to die for the safety of man, that folkmord was necessary, that without clearing these lands entirely of these hostile natives, there would be nothing but perpetual war. After establishing Norwich, when the trolls were scattered and the coast was ours, if I had left your people alone, I saw a guaranteed future filled with inevitable clashes between goblins and humans. Those clashes would lead to more animosity, more hatred, generation after generation seeking blood vengeance against an entire people. It was one of my clearest visions, radical fanaticism, goblin armies funded by hordes of 11 treasures, years of warfare in Verdun, trenches for miles, trenches. So, like, okay. Name seems like a reference to a battle in World War I, with a lot of trenches. I think it was the most horrible one of them all. Then more factions joining in over time. It would risk another coast war, simply due to the fact that humans were never meant to live here. We were never meant to take these lands. Yet we did. I did. I made that choice because every other meant the death of my people. In exchange, I doomed yours. Snell stares at him stone-faced. Okay, so we're fundamentally incompatible and you took our ancestral homeland. Great. He rubs his eyes and takes a step away. He's trying to calm himself. You can get a question in the meanwhile. I think it's proven that we are perfectly capable of living and working together. That must have been a difficult choice. That was a terrible choice. I don't think you answered Snell's question. Okay, which one do I take here? think it's proven that we are perfectly capable of living and working together. Yes, and I did see that potential. For one, goblins had similar warrior cultures to us Vikings. They had a collective mindset not too unlike the dwarves, a clan structure similar to halflings. But the path of unity was not in any way realistic, neither was meeting in the middle. At least, if my visions were to be believed. That was a terrible choice. I could talk about my perspective for 100 years and you would still be correct in your assessment. It was terrible. Snell turns back around, glaring at your god. Why am I alive? Why did you spare those 3 tribes, Earth? Yes, he murmurs. The answer to that is simple. I gambled. Your god looks up at the stars. The Battle of Morgrib, Western Verdun. On the 6th year of the campaign, the leaders of the Kriegthon is brought before me in chains. He demands a duel to the death. His name is Cran. To restore his strength for a fair fight, I invite him to eat with me. The goblin speaks Dwarven, Diminorian, and even some Elvish. Over dinner he explains exactly to me how they were superior in every way, and that the only reason we won was due to our luck. We had a god. Theirs died long ago. Tokik the Gambler. Would have been fun to see these two clash. I agreed with him. Then we discussed my options. Cran told me I was wise for killing them all. If I did not, he said, they would eventually re-emerge and destroy mankind once I faded like Tokik did. That each of his sons dreamt of spilling human blood. Snell's eyes narrow as Earth speaks. So I asked him, what of his daughters? Did they dream of war and slaughter, revenge? Cran told me no. Then he laughed at me and wondered aloud what a boring and peaceful life that would be. I spent the night explaining my visions to him. He in turn told me stories about Tokik the Gambler. For hours we talked, exchanging ideas, and I proved well and enough how I knew it all. As the sun rose, I saw in that conversation something magical. The odds had changed. Not by much, not so significantly that it changed my belief, but enough for me to make another choice, a gamble. I gambled on a path where humans and goblins would live together, in peace. Look at Snell. His eyes are on the ground. We signed a treaty the next day. The forced assimilation of the 3 tribes was carried out. Cran served me well for 12 years, overseeing the migration to Norwich. This was the only plan of action I could see with a success rate above 50-50. Success? Yes. He scowls. A successful genocide, yeah? What's your definition of success here? The same as always. The least amount of death, over time. As far as I could see. But not for my people alone, not this time. For both our people. He lets out a conflicted groan. Well, you shouldn't have come here in the first place then. Perhaps so. His eyes speak of sorrow. Earth wants to listen, nothing else. Were there no other plans in your visions? No, there were many. All of them ending in the near guaranteed destruction of my people. You ask me what you are, Snell. Let me tell you. He walks forward towards your goblin companion. You are something entirely new. The goblin's expression goes from angry to despondent as he stares at the dead god's approach. You can never be goblin. You can never be human. You're in this mess because of me and my evil actions. The old man throws up his hands into the air, reaching for the stars. So hate me. Curse me. Then go be a leader for your people. He lowers his arms and gives him a determined frown. They need you, Snell, for the new era and beyond. Make something that hasn't been seen before. Something new. Something better. Apprehensive and confused, the goblin turns away. I don't exactly have a choice here. There's always a choice, Earth says while locking eyes with you. Some paths are just riskier than others. The goblin clicks his tongue. He glances at the god and mutters, something new. You hear the anger and fear in his voice. Tokik would likely tell you to take the gamble. If you ever meet him, Be sure to ask. The old god laughs. The goblin looks on with a complicated expression on his face. Conflict dancing in the shadows of his mind. Rage and confusion. I'll think about it, Earth. A difficult exchange. The sun does not need... the sun does not dig the trenches of the father. The goblins should never forgive you. Are you saying we should let go of the past? What do you want from the goblins going forwards, or turn back to Snell? Are you saying we should let go of the past? Oh no, not at all. Let the past sear your skin. Let it mark you forever. Use those markings to remember what you did, why you did it, and how you could do better. He smiles. Become a better man, always. The goblin should never forgive you. Good. There is a difference between acceptance and forgiveness. You may accept a man's weakness and see his place in the world. But if he makes a conscious decision to hurt you, if he places that intent into the world, that evil will forever mark him, and all you can do is accept that evil part of him, or push him away. Forgiveness is weakness, acceptance is truth. What do you want from the goblins going forward? Me? He smiles. Luckily, I have no say in any of that. Turn back to Snell. You really... He stops himself from speaking at first, and then says, You really fucked up that assimilation. I know. If there's one thing I will apologize for, it is that. I am sorry. I was always terrible at statecraft. Snell shows the same face he's shown you so many times since you met him in that underground garden. To be ruled by evil or incompetence. Sometimes a mixture of both, I'm afraid. For someone who could see the future, that's saying a lot. I'd say you did pretty well, all things considered. You can always do better. You can always do better. Agreed. Not me, though, since I'm dead. But you? We will see what string you two will walk on. But if it is of any comfort around this incompetent governance, I can assure you, Snell. He gives the goblin a meager glance. Lady Sageleaf is the one who truly changed the odds. Snell meets his eyes. I never expected it from someone like her. Alas, there are many things I did not see coming. If anything, your instincts are clearly a dowsing rod of their own. Earth looks upon you with eyes that remind you of your father. Aged wisdom soaked in blood. I would like to have a few more words with you, Ran, before you return. He steps forward until you realize your god is near towering above you. Look up. I'm afraid we will never speak again, my son. Truth. Why? I made this happen with the last strength I had left. This conversation, Ran, he says, and places a warm hand upon your shoulder. The only time you will ever feel his warmth. The last time anyone ever will. It was worth everything. Look to Snell, then back to him. Snell looks on, his arms crossed. Still conflicted, but with a now determined expression on his face. I'm just a cleric. Yes. Some might even call you the cleric. Although wizard might be more appropriate. A correct statement, despite his theological nature. And you've certainly been mingling with the primal forces a lot. If you want to be a druid, you can certainly have my blessing. Your god chuckles at you. Bow your head. And the flame tongue. Keep it. It served me well for many years. Gorm would have wanted you to have it. Despite everything, he was a good man. A good man. The words cause you unease. Alignment is as subjective as jaw. Nothing but intent. A man will see it all burn before he accepts utilitarian evil into his heart. Goodness itself lies in the heart of all folk. It is not built under the whims of a cleric, no matter their intent. I know. I wish I met him under better circumstances. No, he was not. The world will burn by the intentions of good men. Yeah, I'll say that. Your god listens to the words with care. Is that from a book? I'm sure I stole it from somewhere. He lets out a short laugh. Well, I can assure you that evil men do a fair bit of burning as well. So in the end, maybe we should all aim for a world with less tinder and oil. He takes his hand off your shoulder and takes a breath. He's about to send you home? Ask, this is your chance. One last time. Can you see my future? No. It might be written somewhere, but I cannot see it. The coming era is yours. He looks to Snell. I believe in you all. Don't say anything. He scratches his beard. I will tell you one thing, though. Do you remember your prayer, Ran? The one you always repeated to me at the end of a hard day? You remember every prayer? Not from all. It's mostly noise, as you can imagine. Yours, however, was such a simple prayer. That's what stuck with me. Earth holds up a finger. One thing you asked of me, all throughout your life? It never changed, not once. Oh no. Yeah, that prayer was embarrassing. No wonder you stopped doing it. Your goblin companion follows this conversation intently. Yet he says nothing. Right, that. Feel embarrassed. He smiles. I do not promise things lightly, but I can promise you this, my son. There is a string to follow, one where your prayer is answered, I swear to you. Your father is proud of you, for the man you have become, for the man you will be. Hold it in. Earth leans in and says softly, You're not alone. Then he takes a step back, his eyes shimmering in a faint glow. He looks down into the water. It is time. The election has begun. What, right now? Right now. A funny timing, isn't it? Wait, now is in now? It's already... Shit, I've got so much work to do. Your god holds up a hand. No worries, Snell. I believe Miska has covered it all. She will be glad to see you back there alive, trust me. Yeah, good. Why is... he is flustered. What will happen to you? Oh, I'll get a good rest. That's most of what I've done here for those 27 years. I'd wager the rest of my strange existence here will be just the same. The god shrugs. But then again, who knows? How do we get home? Same tunnel you get your spells from. I'll just make it a little wider for you. We are ready. Your god holds out a hand. From it, a white drop falls. It hits the esoteric water below. Whoa. Hold on. One more thing. You need to ask. My lord, before we go. Yes, my son? His voice echoes through the blinding light. What should I vote in the election? You catch him by surprise with such a question. Through the light, you see a smile appear upon his face. He laughs. Your god lets out a loud and boisterous laugh among the radiant power of his divinity. The Oscarists! They won't win, but every vote will help for the future. Leave the beyond. Okay then. Back out we go. Interesting conversation with him. But yeah, he made a lot of bad decisions in the past, I suppose. A lot of bad decisions, like inexcusable stuff. So yeah, I didn't want to accept him as my god. I didn't want to outright reject at that moment either. Maybe I should have. I thought maybe after saying nothing, there's more conversation and I can circle back to it, but that was not the case. Yeah, let's see. Let's hope we can make the future better, since the past cannot be changed. Okay. There we are. Dawn of the election day. Okay. The city roars around you. Flocking the streets, hundreds seek their designated polling place. And you lie on the central street of Tolstad, having successfully made it to election day. Gasp for air. And? Shit. The first thing you see is Snell getting up from the pavement beside you. He looks pale and queasy. Why didn't you tell me this portalizing business would come with nausea? How would I know? I don't know. You're the big esoteric expert, aren't you? I have never in my life teleported and or gone through a realm dividing fissure before. Quite the intense experience. That's underselling it. God, I feel like my insides are twirling. Snell stretches a bit, then takes a glance around the crowds. Old man was right. Election sure has started. I guess we lost 2 days, or 2.5 maybe. I don't know. You're the math guy. I'm not the math guy. I am the esoteric guy. Keep groaning on the ground. Could have been worse. It could have dropped us off in Kargamesh. Keep your helm pressed against the ground as you speak. Lucky us, he mutters and looks like he's about to throw up as well. I wonder what would happen if we stayed there for longer, like a month? Would you come back years later? Nah, it would probably just get all wacky and unpredictable and send us back 5 minutes after we leave. Just to fuck with us? Just to fuck with us. The goblin takes in the sight of election day. He breathes the air, his shoulders drop. Everything is fine, nothing is wrong anymore. You live to see another life. A relieved smile on his face. Get up from the ground. Right, game plan. It's not that late in the day, so there's no rush in voting. They won't close the polls until 9 o'clock. First of all, we need to report this to Lady Sageleaf. Then, I'm assuming you'll need to have a chat with Darrow too. Is everyone here? Everyone? I mean, most of Tolstad. There's like a dozen different polling places set up around the city. This is just one of them. Where is Lady Sageleaf? In the garden, most likely. Though if my ears don't deceive me, Nearly's playing something on the field. We should go look. You should report to her first of all. In my humble opinion. Don't want to keep her waiting. Yeah, I need to talk to Darrow. Where do you think he is? No clue. Probably out there somewhere. Who else should I talk to? That's up to you, cleric. And there's no stress. Once you've got the important stuff out of the way, you've got all day. It's only 10:20-ish. Oh gods, I need to figure out what I'm voting. The goblin laughs. I heard what you asked him. There at the end. Just follow your guts. I'm sure it'll work out. It's just one vote after all. Not the end of the world. Should I tell people that I'm at Earth? He shrugs. Honestly, I don't think anyone would believe you. Or at the very least, not take you too seriously. But you do you. Okay, let's go. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to edit everything I recorded here down, so there's gonna be one more session, I suppose, for the election. Might not be long. I don't know how long this is gonna be. First, finish the quest that's here. There we go. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, I will do that next time. I gotta edit this down because the first episode of this recording session goes up today. So, yeah, I'll see you next time when we talk to the people here and get the election done and see what happens. I'm still hoping for the Ascalists, of course. I mean, in my hometown, there was the mayoral election recently, and the Communist Party won, big time. They were already the largest party in town, and they earned even more votes. So that's at least pretty cool. So I'm hoping for the Ascalists. I'm hoping for the Ascalists in the name of my own town, in a way. So yeah, see you then. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.